I want to talk to you about some stories in the cyber field. So let's talk about this one, which was interesting to me. Senators urged the Department of Defense watchdog to probe failure to secure communications amid Salt Typhoon hacks. In the wake of Chinese hackers' alarming breach of multiple telecommunications companies, a bipartisan pair of U.S. senators on Wednesday asked the Defense Department's top watchdog to scrutinize how agency is shoring up its communications against spying. The Pentagon's failure to secure its unclassified voice, video, and text communications with end-to-end encryption technology has left it needlessly vulnerable to foreign espionage. Senators Eric Schmidt and Ron Wyden wrote in the letter to DoD Inspector Generals Robert Storch. Moreover, although DoD is among the largest buyers of wireless telephone service in the United States, it has failed to use its purchasing power to require cyber defenses and accountability from wireless carriers, they added. We urge you to investigate DoD's failure to secure its communications and to recommend the changes in policy necessary to protect DoD communications from foreign adversaries. The missive comes the day after officials from the FBI and Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, admitted that months after discovering the breach by the state-sponsored group known as Salt Typhoon against U.S. telecommunications companies and internet service providers, they have been unable to kick the perpetrators out. Given where we are in discovering the activity, I think it would be impossible for us to predict a time frame on. Given where we are in discovering the activity, I think it would be impossible for us to predict a time frame on when we'll have the hackers evicted. John Green, Executive Assistant Director of Cybersecurity at CISA, said. Schmidt and Wyden, who serve on the Senate Armed Services and Intelligence Committee, respectively, noted that DoD hasn't received independent cybersecurity audits of phone carriers that utilize and service networks, and the department is unsure if it has the authority to carry out its own reviews on those entities. The responsibility for such failures cannot and should not be pinned on low-level procurement officials, but rather reflects a failure by senior DoD leadership to prioritize cybersecurity, communication security in particular, they wrote. The Biden administration will brief a full Senate on the Salt Typhoon hacks on Wednesday. The classified session is meant to bring all policymakers up to speed on the scope of the unprecedented hack, according to congressional sources. What's interesting about that is it's not only the DoD, but think about us, the normal average customer that use our telephones. Do you think that the Chinese are only after DoD data, or they're after everybody's data? I mean, your data is a precious commodity to everybody. You know, hackers want your data. Government officials want your data. Your data is one of the more precious assets that you have in today's digital world. You should be able to protect it. These phone companies should be doing more than they are. On the government side, whether they have the authority or the ability to go in and audit these agencies, well, I don't know about that one. I don't know exactly what all the rules and laws and intricacies are, but companies are audited on a regular basis. Most people hire pen testers to check out their security. So maybe there's a way for the government to have its own red team or tiger team go in and do an independent test or an audit of the cybersecurity for these telephone companies, or at least be able to get some kind of reports from audits and tests done to see what's going on. Because technically speaking, if the government wanted to, they could just hold out on the contracts and not use AT&T or Verizon or whomever they're using for their unclassified communications. I think you should, as a taxpayer and consumer, be very, very, very skeptical about everything that's going on. But for sure, find out what's going on with your data, you know. That's all I have for today, man. Thanks for listening. Hope to see y'all on the next one.